Hey everyone, welcome back. Serious things are happening that have me concerned about fall and winter. We're talking potential for major disruptions, not just delayed Amazon orders. We've seen what happens when the system is strained. Remember early 2020? With supply chains shaky and costs rising, this winter could be different. In this video, I'll break down why you need to start prepping now, with practical steps to protect your family. Let's talk about food, because that's everyone's biggest concern, right? Extreme weather can wreak havoc on crop yields. Droughts, floods, early frosts, they wipe out harvests, leading to less food and higher prices. Remember the price of lettuce last year? That's just a taste of what's coming. It's not just produce, grains, meat, dairy, everything is affected. When supply goes down and demand goes up, prices skyrocket. What happens when people can't afford to feed their families? Things get unpredictable. Next up, let's talk about energy. Now, you've probably already noticed that your gas and electricity bills have been creeping up, right? Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. Experts are predicting some seriously scary increases in energy costs this winter, and that's going to have a ripple effect on pretty much everything. Think about it. Higher energy costs mean more expensive transportation, which means higher prices for everything that gets shipped. That includes food, clothing, building materials, you name it. And then, of course, there's the cost of heating your home. If you're already struggling to make ends meet, those extra few $100 a month could be devastating. What happens when people can't afford to heat their homes? What happens when hospitals have to start rationing power? These aren't hypothetical situations. They're very real possibilities that we need to be prepared for. Now, there is something called demand surge. Remember what happened at the beginning of 2020 when everybody started freaking out about toilet paper? Yeah, that wasn't pretty. Well, imagine that on a much larger scale for everything from food and water to batteries and first aid supplies. When people start to panic, they buy everything in sight, which creates even more scarcity, which leads to more panic and so on. It's a vicious cycle. And here's the thing, it doesn't even have to be a real shortage for this to happen. All it takes is a rumor, a news report, or one too many doom-scrolling sessions on social media to trigger a full-blown panic. That's why it's so important to be prepared things hit the fan. The world on hold global shipping delays. We live in a globalized world. We rely on a complex network of ships, planes, trains, and trucks to get the things we need. And right now, that system is seriously messed up. We're talking about massive cargo ships stuck at sea, container shortages, port congestion. It's a logistical nightmare. And this isn't just some abstract problem, it's directly impacting what's available on store shelves. Remember that new phone you've been wanting, or that part you need to fix your car? Good luck getting your hands on those anytime soon. Many experts are saying that these supply chain disruptions could last for years. That means we need to be prepared for a future where the things we take for granted are harder and more expensive to come by. Roadblocks, trucking, and transportation bottlenecks. So let's say those cargo ships actually make it to port and the goods are unloaded. Now what? Well, they need to be transported to warehouses and distribution centers and then finally to your local store. And guess what? That system is also a complete mess. We're talking about a massive shortage of truck drivers, congested highways, and rising fuel costs. All of this adds up to delays and higher prices for everything. When there are delays in the transportation system, it can lead to shortages of essential goods like food, medicine, and fuel. Mother Nature's fury extreme weather events. We've all seen the news reports, hurricanes, wildfires, floods, blizzards. It seems like every other week there's another major weather event wreaking havoc somewhere in the world. And here's the thing, these extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more intense due to climate change. And guess what? These events have a nasty habit of disrupting supply chains. A hurricane can shut down ports, a wildfire can close highways, and a blizzard can ground airplanes. Extreme weather can also damage infrastructure like roads, bridges, and power lines, which can take months or even years to repair. You've probably noticed that everything is getting more expensive. Groceries, gas, rent. It's getting harder and harder to make ends meet. Unfortunately, it looks like this inflation isn't going away anytime soon. In fact, many experts are predicting that prices will continue to rise in the coming months and years. There are a lot of factors at play here: supply chain disruptions, increased demand, government spending. It's a complex issue. But the bottom line is that your dollar just doesn't go as far as it used to. And this is hitting everyone hard, but it's especially tough for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Have you noticed that a lot of businesses are short-staffed these days? Restaurants, stores, hospitals, everyone seems to be hiring. There's a reason for that. We're in the middle of a major labor shortage. There are a few reasons for this. Early retirements, childcare issues, and a shift in priorities are just a few. But whatever the reason, the fact is that there simply aren't enough workers to fill all the available jobs. When businesses can't find enough workers, they have to reduce hours, raise prices, or even shut down altogether. This one's a little scary, but we need to talk about it. We're already seeing shortages of certain medications, and this is a problem that could easily get much worse. Think about essential medications like insulin, antibiotics, even common over-the-counter pain relievers. These are things that people rely on every single day. Part of it is due to manufacturing problems, part of it is because of increased demand, sound familiar? And part of it is because we're so reliant on other countries for our pharmaceutical ingredients. Imagine a scenario where you or a loved one needs medication, but it's simply not available. Fresh produce. I can just buy frozen fruits and vegetables. While that's certainly an option, it's not always a perfect solution. Fresh produce is packed with essential vitamins and nutrients that our bodies need to stay healthy. As we head into the fall and winter months, the availability of locally grown produce decreases, making us more reliant on imports, which are more susceptible to those supply chain disruptions we talked about earlier. Warm clothes, blankets, heaters, the basics for surviving winter. The demand for these winter essentials skyrockets as soon as the temperature drops, and if there are any hiccups in the supply chain, which, let's face it, there probably will be, you could find yourself scrambling to find these essential items, and nobody wants to be stuck in the cold without a way to stay warm. Winter storms are no joke. Heavy snow, ice, and high winds can knock out power lines, leaving entire neighborhoods in the dark. And when the power goes out, it's not just an inconvenience, it can be a serious safety issue. You lose heat, your food starts to spoil, and you can't charge your devices. That's why having a plan for power outages is so crucial. This one's important, especially during the winter months. Hospitals and healthcare systems are already stretched thin, and when you add in a surge of patients with winter-related illnesses like the flu or COVID, it can put a massive strain on resources. Imagine a scenario where you need medical attention, but the hospital is overwhelmed, or worse, they're short on essential supplies. Everyday items that we often take for granted: toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, hygiene products. These are the things that keep our homes running smoothly. But when there are disruptions in the flow of goods, these seemingly mundane items can become surprisingly scarce. Having a stockpile of these essential household items can make all the difference in an emergency or a period of prolonged disruption. Last but not least, let's talk about something that can really throw a wrench into things: delays in repair parts and supplies. Imagine your furnace breaks down in the middle of winter, but the part you need to fix it is back-ordered for months. Or your car needs a new alternator, but the mechanic can't get the part for weeks. That's why having some basic repair skills and a stockpile of common repair parts can be incredibly valuable. Take practical steps to ensure that you and your family are safe and secure no matter what challenges come our way. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos on how to navigate these uncertain times. Thanks for watching, and stay prepared out there.